All right, so buckle up, everyone, because today we are diving deep into the world of economic signals.
Ooh, sounds intense.
It is, kind of, but also super fascinating.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah, me too. And today we are going to be focusing on how to read, I don't know, the market's reaction to the Federal Reserve's every move.
Like the Fed, what they're doing with interest rates?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we are going to be, going way beyond just, the headlines.
Right, those clickbaity headlines.
Yeah, totally. We're going to be digging into some patterns, and these patterns can actually help you anticipate those, big economic shifts.
That's right.
Which I think is kind of a superpower, right?
Absolutely.
To be able to see what's come, at least economically.
Yeah.
So today's source material offers some really valuable insights into the relationship between the Fed's rate cuts.
Rate hikes, too.
Right, rate hikes, exactly.
Yeah.
Overall market behavior, and then, those all-important recession signals. So today...
I love this stuff.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to me.
Me too. It's like a puzzle.
It is.
Got to put all the pieces together. So we're going to answer a question that might seem a little puzzling at first.
Yep.
Which is, why does bad economic news sometimes cause the market to rally
Oh, yeah.
instead of taking a dip, which is kind of what you'd expect.
Right.
Bad news, market goes down.
Right. Intuitively.
But that's not always how it works.
No, not always.
So let's dive in and find out why.
Let's do it.
Okay, so, to set the stage a little bit.
Yeah.
The Fed, they raise and lower interest rates to influence the economy.
Right. That's their main tool to either, heat things up or cool things down.
Exactly.
If they want to, stimulate the economy, they lower rates, make it cheaper to borrow money.
Right.
And then the opposite, if they need to, kind of slow things down to control inflation.
They raise those rates.
They raise rates, exactly.
And that makes it more expensive to borrow money.
Exactly.
So what's fascinating is how the market, reacts to this. Right. So sometimes we see this counterintuitive thing.
Yeah.
Where during times when the Fed is hiking those rates.
Hiking them up.
Yeah. Bad economic news.
Is actually seen as a positive.
Is viewed as a good thing.
Yeah.
By the market. And that's weird.
It seems counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
Like you said.
So I guess bad news is good news in this case. I'm still not sure I get it.
Yeah. So think of it this way. Okay. When the economy is flashing some warning signs.
Trouble ahead.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Investors start to anticipate, they start to think.
Predict.
They predict, that the Fed is going to step in and cut rates.
They're going to come to the rescue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're going to try and hit that gas pedal and stimulate things again.
Juice the economy.
Exactly. And those rate cuts, they're generally seen as good for the market, right?
Yeah, right.
Because borrowing becomes cheaper, companies can make more money, their profits potentially go up, encourages investment.
Right.
So it's kind of a positive thing. Okay, so it's less about the bad news itself and more about what it means for the future.
That's a really good way to put it, yeah.
What actions it's going to lead to. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all about reading between the lines, trying to I don't know, figure out what might happen next.
Right.
It's the market is playing a guessing game with the Fed.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to anticipate the Fed's next move.
Okay.
And position themselves accordingly.
And sometimes the Fed doesn't do what we expect them to do.
That's true.
Which is why this is so complicated.
Exactly.
Okay, so now here's the really crucial part, according to our source material.
Okay.
There's this, critical turning point.
Oh.
So let's say the Fed starts cutting rates.
Right.
They're trying to stimulate the economy. Exactly.
Yeah.
But the market starts reacting
negatively
to bad economic news. Yeah.
Okay.
They're selling instead of buying.
That can be a big red flag.
So it's the market's not buying into the idea that rate cuts are a good thing anymore.
Right. It's almost like they're losing faith that things are going to get better.
Exactly. Yeah. It suggests that investors are losing confidence in the Fed's ability to kind of steer the economy clear of a recession.
Which, to be clear,
yeah,
is a period of significant economic decline.
Right. It's not just a little blip.
No, it's
it's a sustained downturn.
A real downturn.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And the rate cuts are no longer seen as a sign of future growth.
Yeah.
But rather a desperate attempt to prevent a downturn.
Right. It's the Fed's saying, we got to do something, but the market's not convinced.
Yeah. And that's when you really got to pay attention.
Exactly.
Okay. So the big takeaway here, I think, is that we should all be watching for this shift and how the market responds
Especially.
to bad news, especially, like you said, when the Fed is cutting rates.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Totally.
It's like the market's telling us something.
It's giving us clues.
Yeah.
Okay, but is this like, I don't know, a light switch? Like it just suddenly happens?
No, it's not like that.
Or is it more gradual?
It's definitely more nuanced than a single event.
Okay.
The market's going to have its rallies and dips
Right.
along the way, right?
Of course.
Think of it more like a long-term trend,
Okay.
where the overall reaction to bad news just slowly becomes more and more negative.
Okay.
And that's when you know things might be shifting.
So, like, what would that look like in practice? Can you give an example?
Sure, imagine there's some bad news about unemployment.
Okay.
Numbers are going up.
Oh.
Now, initially, the market might rally, thinking, okay, the Fed's going to cut rates, that'll help.
Right.
But as this pattern emerges,
Yeah.
you'll start to see that same news maybe not have as positive of a reaction.
Okay.
Maybe the market dips a little,
Right.
and the next bit of bad news,
It dips even more.
it dips even further, yeah. So you're seeing that shift over time.
Okay. That
Yep.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean
Yeah.
for, all of you listening out there?
Right.
Today, we've learned about this, I don't know, fascinating pattern
Mm-hmm.
where a shift in market reaction during Fed rate cuts could be a powerful indicator
Yeah.
of an economic downturn.
Big stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some pretty valuable knowledge to have, don't you think?
Absolutely. And it can really help you make more informed decisions
Yeah.
about, your own investments and finances.
Right. Because if you can see it coming,
Mm-hmm.
you can,
Prepare.
prepare. Exactly.
Adjust your strategy.
Right.
Maybe be a little more cautious.
Okay, so final thought for everyone listening.
All right, here's my final thought.
Pay close attention
Yeah.
to financial news in the coming months.
Especially now.
Especially now, yeah.
Things are a little volatile.
Things are
Yeah.
interesting, to say the least.
Exactly. And see if you can spot this pattern emerging.
Yep.
In the real world, look at how the market reacts to different pieces of economic news.
Yeah.
And see if you can kind of connect the dots.
Especially during these times.
Exactly. And, you might be surprised by how much you can actually decipher.
It's kind of like learning a new language.
Yeah, it is the language of the markets.
Right, but once you know it,
You can understand what they're saying.
it opens up a whole new world of understanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
And hopefully, you can use that knowledge to your advantage.
Right, to make better decisions.
Exactly. So that's it for today's deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.